Welcome to Collecting Consciousness, where we aim to capture the ever-expanding and evolving conscious creations that originate from the minds of fellow podcasters, strangers, dear friends, and loved ones.
In this podcast, we will expand on our inner wisdom and a coming home to self. From our conscious minds to yours, we welcome you to the Collecting Consciousness.
So welcome back to another episode of Collecting Consciousness. I'm Bethany and that is Courtney, and sometimes we like to get started with a little breathwork and prayer before the episode. So we have a really great episode in store for you today and chatting about a subject that we really love. And before that, I would like to guide us into a little breathwork to settle our nervous systems and settle into the space and get our minds cleared and focused so we can have this conversation. And then Courtney will guide us in a beautiful prayer of intention to set the space. So wherever you're at, if it is available to you, I invite you to gently close your eyes and start to settle into the body, start to bring the gaze inward. And as we bring our gaze inward, just taking a gentle inventory of the body. First, tuning into our breath, noticing, is it fast, slow, shallow, deep? And just allowing it to be what it is, not trying to change it, just observing with loving awareness. Now taking our attention to any areas in our body that hold tension at this time. Could be the tops of the shoulders, or the jawline, or maybe behind your eyes. And once again, just bringing that loving awareness to those places, not trying to attach a story or a judgment. Just allowing those points of tension to be within your body. And on the count of, I'm going to count down from 3. When I get to 1, I invite you to exhale completely. 3, 2, 1. Exhale. Maybe allowing a gentle sigh. Allowing the breath to completely leave the body. You get to the bottom of the exhale, pausing for just a moment. And then gently inhaling, allowing the breath to find its way back into the body. Allowing the belly to soften, the chest to rise. Filling up with this fresh inhale. And when you get to the top, just pausing for a count of 1, 2, and then exhaling, maybe sigh it out this time. Allowing the breath to completely leave the body. As we get to the bottom of the exhale, pausing for a count of 1, 2, inhaling slowly and gently, allowing the breath to fill the belly as the belly softens outward. Allowing the breath to fill the chest cavity and expand the lungs. And as you get to the top of this beautiful inhale, pausing for a count of 1, 2, exhaling, letting it all go. Pausing at the bottom for a count of 1, 2, and on this next inhale, I want you to fill up, taking the deepest breath that you've taken today. Inhaling and reaching the top Pausing for a count of 1, 2. Exhaling, allowing all the tensions to move out of the body. Allowing all those tensions to soften. And pausing at the bottom for 1, 2. Staying for a moment longer if this feels good to you. And then finding the inhale. So allowing the breath to find you. Allowing the breath to just gently return to the body. Inhaling and exhaling without effort. As we arrive to this new place within our bodies, just taking inventory of how the breath has changed and how the tensions may have melted away. As we return to this place of loving and awareness, I invite you to, if you feel called to, place one hand on your heart followed by the other, as Courtney leads us in a prayer of intention.
Thank you, Bethany. It's going to be different than a prayer today. I want you to take your hands, place them like you're holding a ball in between your two hands. There's going to be an orb of healing energy in this orb. So I want you to mold your ball, your orb of light. Get close to the palms. Shift away. Maybe you feel a static energy. We're going to create and see the energy, the life force that lies within us. So maybe bounce your orb of light. Again, coming close to the palms, coming out. Coming close to the palms, coming out. Making that orb, molding that orb. Envision, maybe it's a fire. Maybe it's a ball of light. Maybe it's a glass orb. Envision what it is for you. And once you have that in your hand, I want you to bring it to the top of your head. And I want you to either drop the orb or we're going to go down through the body. So it's starting at the top of your head. You either drop it or move with it. So you're coming out along the temples of the eyes with your orb of light. And what we're going to do, we are going to envision that this is cleansing anything stored in the body that no longer serves. So we come down to the temples, we pause. Then we come out to the third eye. In between the two eyes, we're going to hold our hands in front of our eyes, cleansing and clearing for our highest of good. Come back to the temples, cleansing and clearing for our highest of good. Coming down to the throat, cleansing and clearing for our highest of good. Take note of what you feel. Maybe you feel a tightness in the body. Maybe you feel like you need to clear your throat. Maybe you feel a dense energy. Feel free to take your hand and clear it. Take away anything out of the throat that no longer serves you. Allow your voice to speak up. Allow your voice to have a purpose, that what you are, who you are, is allowed to have space. Space to feel, space to think, space to speak. So cleansing and clearing. Then you come down to the heart. Once again, take note of how you feel. Does it feel heavy? Does it feel dense? Does it feel light? Does it feel open? Do you feel static energy? like your hands are getting shocked. We all have energy. We are all energy. All right, and let us move down just at the bottom of the rib cage, so just above your navel. Tapping into the solar plexus. This is our sense of self, our willpower. Cleanse and clear, cleanse and clear. You are open. You are divine. You are a warrior. Show you the way, show you the way. Then going down just to the belly button, below the belly button, to the sacral chakra, our sense of expression, creativity. Cleanse and clear, taking away what no longer serves. What do you feel? What do you think? What do you see? What do you hear? Take your hand and throw it away to the woods to be churned, to be healed. I always take energy and send it away. And any energy that no longer serves, I send it away to something pure, something divine, so that it can heal and transmute into this earth a higher frequency. So you can just take your hands and flick it away, but I encourage you to send it away to something pure. And then shift down to the root chakra, the pelvis. Our sense of foundation, family, friends, structure. I cleanse and clear what no longer serves, allowing divine energy to be free flowing. And then we just go down through the limbs, going through the arms, going through the legs, cleansing and clearing. Take your hand, cleanse away anything that no longer serves. See what you feel. What do you see? Maybe you see colors. Maybe you see symbolism, imagery. The divine wisdom is always channeling through us. We just are clearing our channel. So that is what we just did. So I want you to do a body scan. So start from the top of the head with one hand above the head, one down by the temple, or do what feels right for you. Allow your intuition to tell you how to do this. And move through the body, move slowly. Maybe there still feels like a heavy energy, so cleanse it, clear it. Down through the nose, through the throat. Does it feel more open? Does it feel more expansive? Down through the heart, the solar plexus, the sacral chakra, the root, the limbs. This was an energetic clearing you just did to yourselves. This cleanses energy that no longer serves you. This allows you to open your channels to be pure, cleansed, and healed. So take your hands, place them on your heart, on your belly. Maybe they're resting in the lap. Maybe they're covering the eyes. Do what feels right. The purpose of this is to cleanse our bodies. This is a great grounding practice for the start of your day. This is a beautiful way to cleanse any energy that throughout the day, if anything is lingering on you, if you're feeling stressed, if you're feeling tired, if you're feeling open, do it whenever. Truly, it's just connecting to your body, to the inner world, getting to tap within. So I'm just going to allow a little pause. Tap into your breath. Take note of the mind. Take note of the body. A little silence, solitude. Thank yourself for cleansing. Thank yourself for tuning in. These are gifts that we can give ourselves. As we're coming into the holiday season, sometimes energies are overwhelming. People, places, and things. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, tired, stressed, go take some solitude and try this little practice. And if you want to do this on the daily, this will deepen your connection to the divine, to your ancestors, to your higher selves. Thank you for being here with us. We are collecting consciousness, open to the wisdom, open to the experience. Welcome, welcome, welcome. When you're ready, open your eyes, touch your toes, touch your fingers, feel your body, and let's dive in to another episode.
Mm. That's some magic
Did you see
yumminess.
anything?
That was some magic yumminess. Yeah.
Yeah, my third eye was going cray cray.
Was it? Mine was.
Yeah.
That's where I felt the most stuckness. Was
Oh
right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you even said that you were like a little scattered. So, does it feel more open?
It feels less tight. Like
Cool.
you know, like I could feel like tension. Like you know what I mean, right across.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's like, oh wow, you know.
Cool.
Thank you for getting us to tune in to.
Yeah.
You know, we go through our lives. We don't tune in.
Yeah. Thank you for the breath work.
Mm-hmm.
It came to me as I did your breath, as you were doing the breath work. I said, let's do a little energetic clearing.
I love it. I love it. That's like felt really good.
How were you doing? Like, were you doing like the orb? Were you doing?
I was doing the orb. So I had the orb in my hands, and it was just like this huge ball of energy light.
Could you feel it?
Yeah, I could feel it. It's warm.
Yeah,
it's usually warm for me, like in between my hands, and
it tingles for me.
Yeah, sometimes I can feel like if there was something there, like a light, something
the wafting
pressing against. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel that, like, you know, and then I took it and I moved it through each chakra, or each energy center as we went. And, yeah, the clearing was really great. I've kept going back to my third eye and I like send it and I picture it becoming like stardust and it like goes back into the stars.
Like, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah. So it comes to my third eye when I imagine it. So
I love that.
That's what I do with it. And yeah, so I was doing a lot of that, right? And I still feel it. I mean, still definitely like not all the way. I need to work on that actually. Yeah, I'm going to work on that. Yeah. So,
you know, just a little, tuning in for like a hot second. That's all that we fucking need, really.
Yeah. Yeah. But the hot seconds, they get real hot and they just go right by. You're like, oh shit.
Oh yeah.
All
for
the
sure.
hot seconds are gone in the day.
Yeah. I mean, as a 2-4 projector, I fucking need to drop in, drop out. So I definitely am keen in my time to give myself those moments of solitude.
Yeah.
Probably being in the line of work that I'm in, but it's very important to me.
Yeah.
And before we dive in, did you get new glasses?
I did. Yeah. Moose.
Cool.
I kind of forgot that I had them on. Yeah. Moose, because I had them on for work. Moose, actually, I'm going to take them off because they're like creating a glare.
Oh, I loved them.
I thought they were like creating this glare when
No, they're cool. I like them.
Yeah. I got, Moose chewed my other ones that were very similar. They were clear like this, but they were smaller. They were smaller. These ones, I just ordered off the same website and they're much bigger.
I love a big frame. Cool. Awesome. So what we're going to be talking about today, and it's kind of cool that we did the little energy centers of the chakra system, because it ties in. We're going to be talking about, it's our intro to human design. So Bethany's a projector. I'm a projector. I find projectors often like band together.
I could see that because I mean, it's probably easy for us to be around each other naturally.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
say like,
Oh, definitely. Because
yeah,
like we both, oftentimes, so for like projectors, the thing is just, we'll dive deeper into it, but projectors like later down we're going to do a series, but projectors have to wait for that invitation to like give our advice. We're the advice givers. So I find that projectors can just, it's easy for us to see others' gifts and just allow them to just like really do themselves, recognize them, and any unsolicited advice is often it's welcomed because it's just like, oh, there they are shining.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But okay,
Yeah. Okay, go.
go ahead. You
Yeah.
go. No. You go. I want to hear what you had to say.
I would just say it's always really interesting as a projector being around other profile types and just being like, and just kind of like seeing it all go down, or just being, just being more of like the
Observer.
observer. And so
Yeah.
I find with other projectors, we're all kind of like on that level. And I guess I'm jumping in really like ahead, but like, I just want to say, for example, like me, Jonah, and I believe Jeff is a projector if I
Jeff is
happen
definitely
to.
I think he is like
Yeah.
the mastery of his carpentry skills and stuff. Like I
Yeah.
totally.
And the way he operates.
And he's an observer. Like he is there's you can tell, you can see in the eyes that there's so much more beyond what is being said.
Yes, yes. And he likes to come up with like efficiency and systems and like, you know what I mean? Like just
Yeah, the
if something,
steps.
yeah, if something's not like flowing right, like he wants to figure it out. And I find that's another projector quality is like we really just want to like get the process
Yeah,
down and like come up with
because
a
that's how you
really
teach it.
efficient process. Oh, cool.
Yeah,
I never realized what that was for. I thought it was just because we could
yeah,
see like
yeah.
efficiency, we can see like where things are not
Yeah.
really working
Well,
right.
exactly. And we're meant to like again, we are jumping ahead, but that's because we're projectors and we just like this is our area to shine. But it's like, no, it's because we are meant to be the teachers and the leaders and the guiders. So
Mhm.
we have to have those steps. Like for man gens, they can skip steps.
Yeah.
Projectors want all steps in because they have to teach people, where man gens can literally just be like, oh, you can literally skip this step. But what's cool, if you're around a man gen and you witness that, you're like, oh, okay, scratch this step 3 and 4. We actually don't need these steps. We can now create 1, 2, jump to 5 and
Yeah.
create a new, it's like they can see things much more quicker too. But before us diving in and all that good stuff, let's just talk about the origin of human design. And I'm totally going to get his name wrong. Do you know how to pronounce the name? Ra Uru.
Ra-uru, I think, is how I've heard it pronounced, but I don't know. I mean,
Okay, well,
Ra-uru is what I think people say.
okay, cool.
Yeah.
So it was like created. It was the origins are back in the 80s, I believe.
Hmm.
It was. He had this like spiritual experience that like got him to figure all this stuff out. But it's based off of astrology, the I Ching, the Kabbalah, and the chakra system. So, like I said, it's cool that we just did a little energetic channel into our chakra systems.
Yeah.
So it's based on our unique strengths and our weaknesses. It's an ancient wisdom. It also uses modern science, and it is to like find your life's purpose and knowing that we're all unique individuals. You need your, and Bethany, jump in at any point to.
Well, I have one way that I like to describe it to
Yeah,
people is like
yeah.
astrology, getting your birth chart read is kind of like it's your roadmap for the things that may happen to you in life. Like you may, you know, have 5 children and live in this part of the world and like need to, it's more about experiences and life events. I'd say your birth chart is more indicative of that. The cool thing about human design that I always love is that it tells you how to show up energetically every day in every situation that you may be in. That's the combination of the astrology, the chakra system, the I Ching. Yeah. So it's like, using all of those ancient, knowledges and systems, but to show you, like, that's what I love about it, is it's not going to tell you like you need to go to make this move at this point in life. It's just like a continuum of like, this is, if you really
It's a blueprint, is what I say.
yeah, a blueprint. And if you really learn how, like, all the inner workings, because it's quite a complex system, it can be very basic, and you could keep it on the basic level, or you could get really complex and fine tuned with it, and really learn like what is appropriate for your energy. And I feel like, because we are energetic beings, and then that produces like the outcomes in our lives, like if we can operate from a place that's like the healthiest for our energy, then like we're going to show up to the right places, we're going to be in the right, in the right situations, we're going to, each day be able to produce the maximum of what we're supposed to produce, because we're following that energetic blueprint. So that's kind of how I look at it. Yeah.
It's cool when you it really is, it's an iceberg. I used to connect with a human design person, and we would just like deep dive in literally like one thing. And we would spend like an hour just talking about this one thing. And like, when you look at your chart, you're going to be like, holy fuck, what does any of this mean? Because it is like, it's really in depth, but like you said, you can keep it pretty basic, but there is so much iceberg action happening, and you can get so nitty gritty, and it's pretty fun to geek out on. But yeah, it's like the energy of it. It's like with let's just say you don't know your human design, and maybe life has been pretty challenging, and you just feel like you're going up against roadblock after roadblock after resistance, trying to swim uphill, or upstream. And, it's cool when you do check your human design and then you start understanding it. You're like, oh, I am actually not really in my design right now. So that's where a lot of these challenges are coming from. So it should kind of like flow. In a sense, things can flow to you when you're living in your design, and you'll really start to see by living in it where you've been like holding yourself back, where you are really going forward in your life. So it's a really fun thing to do. So if you are looking to get your human design done, go to mybodygraph.com, mybodygraph.com, and you'll need your birth time, you'll need your birth date, you'll need the place that you were born, because like the astrology is based off of the placements of where the astrology portion is based off of where you are born, the place and the times and stuff. So go have a look, go look at your chart. And also you can find, if you want somebody to do your human design reading for you, just YouTube Instagram. There's so many human design readers out there, and it's also very intuitive too. Like, I've met a lot of different human design readers, and I mean, everything gets intuitive if you want to break down life. So you may have a reading, and then they just may be picking up like your ancestors or shit like that. It's I would go find your human design reader.
My body graph is free. Too, so you can just put your information in, you can get. So our goal in the series that we're going to do is we'll be going over each profile type, and then each type.
Yeah. So like the types, we're just going to go through the types real quick. So the types, we have generators, we have manifestors, we have manifesting generators, we have reflectors, and we have projectors. So those are the 5 types of energy.
Thank you for tuning in to Collecting Consciousness.
We're so grateful that you've been on this journey with us so far.
And we look forward to seeing where we are going to expand, curate, and collect.
So if you haven't already liked, subscribed, or shared our content, and you feel called to do so, we would so deeply appreciate it. From our souls to your soul, and our hearts to your minds. We are collecting consciousness.
Those are the 5 profile types. And then, those are the 5 types, and then the profile types are, I'm just going to do like 6'2", 2'4", and we'll get into those in more nitty gritty later down the line. But yeah, it's going to be fun. Like once you figure out your human design type and you want to start living it, it's pretty interesting. Like, Bethany, what's been some of the major things that's really kind of been how you've lived your human design? Because you did this about 6 years ago, 7 years ago.
It's been like, has it been that long? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it has. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I would say, I guess what it brings me is peace. And when I observe other people around me, I'm like, okay, like instead of trying to like conform them to be the way that I need them to be, or the way that like I think they should be, or the way society maybe tells me they should be, or you know what I mean, society tells us we should be. What it feels like for me is it gives a permission to people, for people to show up all types of ways. And I think when you learn, like I remember when I got my reading, it was like it gave me that permission, and it also gave me that validation of the things that society did tell me were not acceptable about my, you know, who I was as an energetic being, like the way that I want to travel through the day, the way that I want to, you know, navigate life on an energetic level. Like a lot of times society, like, you know, for example, you're going to, you know, sit down, you're going to do your work, you're going to do this, you're going to go get this job, you're going to be this person, you know, it's like, yeah, it can happen really fast, and it can like definitely, you know,
and the 9 to 5 grind, the constant 9 to hustle.
You're not supposed to change your career 5 million times. You're not supposed to like, but for some people, they are meant to change their career. And I just remember when I learned about all the types, and I learned about all the profile combinations, types, really the types in themselves just helped me understand the people in my life so much better, and just be like, oh my gosh, you know, like,
they just need rest.
You're not meant to be doing this. You're meant to be doing this. And that's great. And like, cool. We're not going to try to fit you in this box anymore. And for me, it felt like I was very seen in my reading. I felt like I was like, whoa, like this was the first time I actually got like I said, like validation, and even like a reassurance, like it's okay, like this is how you're supposed to be living. And like you might have gotten told that that was a weird thing growing up, or like that was weird of you to be able to do that, but like that's really what your gift is. Like that's a beauty, like that's a beautiful part of you. So it allowed me to, like, I would say, like, just lean even harder into it. And I could lean even harder. I know I don't lean hard enough into my human design, probably. Definitely I don't. But it's fun. It's fun to see how it plays out too. Like recently, me and Jonah, we both got at one point a reading together where they combine our charts. Because when you guys, if you guys go look up the charts, it's
there's like gates and channels.
There's gates, channels, and all of us show up. Like, for example, all of us could be in a room and we're all completing different parts of one another's chart.
Yeah, that's the I Ching, the hexagram, the channels. That's like it's fun because you can create new, like, things that weren't connected can create new things where it's like you can really expand on who you are as a person, and you guys work together.
Yeah. So me and Jonah, like, we have this one gate. I don't remember. I'm not going to say the number. I want to say 37, but I don't think it is. It's a gate of pulling in resources, and we both have that gate. And so it's like really fun when we like are in, you know, things like our house project, or we need different things done, you know. It's really fun to watch that like unfold and be like, oh cool, like that we just like used our energy and like how we're supposed to show up to like resource those things and like pull in resources. And and you
can even switch, so like you guys are projectors, so also let's just say when your gates, you know, are connecting and blah 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 blah, again, this is where it gets deeper diver. You guys change, you can sometimes change profile types, so then you can actually be a manifesting generator in this moment. Because like the thing with human design, it's how you show up with your family, your friends, your children. It's all interconnected, and it's all very fucking deep. And you're actually like switching. So like she was the manifesting generator. I'm a projector. But when we got together, I turned into either a generator or a manifesting generator because the certain channels that connected. So I was able to pull off of her energy and become this like more fast-paced type of energy that had like where I'm typically need to slow down, I need to like sit back, but being around this person gave me like new sources of energy. So it can get really fucking deep.
And
I would actually like go
it's
ahead.
really cool like that. I just want to like highlight a couple things. It's really cool like that. When me and Jonah come together, we become a manifester.
Okay, yeah.
Our two projector like energies do we become a manifester together as our like
Cool.
energy type. But also, to your note of like being around other people, like yeah, we are more chill, you know, projectors typically like we'll get into this as we go down the road and talk about where the energy is created, but like we typically hit a roadblock in the day and we're like done for, you know, we're just
Need
like
that
we can't-
rest.
yeah.
Need
When
to
I'm around
recharge.
generators, I can like I'm like like I could keep going all night long. And I know a lot of generators in my life. So like when I'm around them, like I could be up until way later than I'd normally be up on any given day of the
Mhm.
week. Like they energize me, like I get energy from them. So it's a really fun thing. And one other thing I want to say is that if you have a child and you're listening to this, I think this
Mhm.
is a
For the children.
brilliant way to allow them to exist exactly how they showed up to exist and to not, you know, pin them to a chair and tell them they're supposed to be this way and they're supposed to live this way. And, you know, it's a really beautiful system and it's like a brilliant system to use if you have a, I think even if you just do it for your child, like
Honestly, that's
that's a,
always what I say. Like
yeah.
you go back into the podcasts, and I'm always saying it's like for the children. And I mean, it really is in the sense like because it was created in like the 70s or 80s. I can't quite remember which day, which year, but it's like it's for the people that learned it back then. Cool, very cool to like start to see like a blueprint, a mapping of how things can be different. But it is like you said, it's allowing those kids right from the get-go, like these new up and coming children, right from the get-go to just be like, oh cool, they're a manifester, they're not meant to like they know things without having to tell us, like they just know how to do these things. And where we're often conditioning children at such a young age that they have to be this way, they have to be that way. But yeah, when you can let them live in their design, you're actually helping them not have to break, like allowing their uniqueness to shine right from the get-go. And then they grow up in that uniqueness of we all are unique. So it is a really beautiful thing. I'm always like, it's for the children. It's for the fucking children.
Yeah, and it gives them the freedom
Yeah.
to be, it lets them be free in a way
Yeah.
that's not like totally
Why are you sleeping right
anti-establishment.
now?
Yeah, it's just a true freedom of expression.
Yeah.
You see them for what they are supposed to be and who they are, you know. Um,
And letting people letting people be seen, letting people be heard, that is one of the most validating things ever, when people just like actually see you for who you are. So that's really cool. Yeah, human design is a fun little thing to geek out on. I would like to get my chart done again. You know, I've looked up my own channels and shit like that. But like I had it, my human design when this person was like first learning. So I was kind of like a guinea pig in a sense. So I'd really like to like when I can't really remember. I mean, I can't really remember all this nitty gritty things of what my channels and gates meant. So I'd like to go back and get it done again and just let a human design reader shine and to see what new knowledge I can get from now 7 years in of like knowing about human design. But I definitely, I know like my projector, I know my profile type really good, but the nitty gritty gates and channels, I'd like to go back and see that again, because again, the with the conscious awareness that I have now of how to really apply it, I
yeah.
would like to do that. And I could do it myself, but sometimes you just want to let people shine in their ways of living.
What are the ways that you incorporate it into your life now? What are some of the ways that you
So really just like honoring my rest and knowing that I need solitude. Getting in nature is recharging for me. So I'm a profile 2/4, which means I'm a hermit and I'm an opportunist. So I'm basically like an introverted extrovert. I can thrive like seeing people and picking out questions. So I'm really curious when I'm around people. I love seeing people. So I really like to get curious with people. So that's where I'll let that 4 shine through, is like I am really seizing those opportunist moments to get to know people and to see them. And then I'm leaning on them. So I need to lean. So profile 2 4s, they have really beautiful gifts. They're really easy to master things. Like they can just like pretty much like all the things that they try, they just like excel at. But sometimes they don't see their gifts, and it takes their opportunists, their friends, to really see them. And they're like, oh, wow, you're really good at this. You're really good at that. And they use their, they lean on their support to really word of mouth them. So I'm a massage therapist. I'm an energy healer. I'm my own business owner. So I lean on my support and my friends to like pump me up and to word of mouth me, like, oh, you need to go check Courtney out. And then also like that hermit in me craves her solitude. She craves nature. She shines at her gifts. Like I have a lot of gifts, and I now know, and like by living in my design now I don't shy away from being like, oh yeah, I'm a little badass bitch at this, or so I find that it's more easy for me to really see my gifts rather than not see them. So it's just kind of given me a new level of confidence of like, no, you can shine, you can let yourself out, lean on your support for that word of mouth. And so really solitude, rest, expanding on my gifts, those things that light me up, really lean into those and see where that mastery of mine. Projectors are meant to master their craft. So anytime I do find myself lighting up on things, I'm like, oh, okay, you need to slow down, retreat, and really learn more about these things. Like I'm reading all the time, and just like, expanding on those things that really light me up. And I think for one, it's that, so projectors have to like wait to be recognized, and for like they need to not just give out their advice. So one thing I just am doing over these years is really just kind of knowing that I will be seen by the right people, and knowing that like not everybody is meant to see me. So like sometimes when I am, and like projectors have to get good at asking questions, which I'm really good at. But like so let's just say you'd like to be seen. So you start and you think that this person could really what's the word I'm looking for? Utilize like your gifts. So I start asking questions to like get them to recognize me, and then when you start asking those right questions, their brain starts going, and then they're like, oh, whoa, you do this, and they're like, yeah, I do this. Come see me, come do these gifts with me. But yeah, it's like waiting to be recognized. Like now when maybe I give out my source of wisdom, and it's falling on deaf ears, I'm like, they're not meant for me. These are not my people. These are not the ones that are here to know. Like I have, just like you, we have an infinite amount of deep wisdom, and projectors are like masters at their gifts. And when you're not seen, it's just like, oh, okay, not my people. When I was first learning, man, was it like disappointing and heartbreak, like did it hurt when it's like people aren't seeing you? Yeah. And do I still experience that to this day? Yeah, I do. That this is where all this shit gets layered, is like, how you grew up in your lifetime, how much you were conditioned, how much you were programmed. So with human design too, once you get this like blueprint of how you're supposed to show up in life, you would then have to go through all that programming that society has put onto you, that people have projected onto you. So you start to gain a new sense of trust within yourself because you were told how to live. But when you like start to really see your divine true essence, you're like, oh, this is an old story. This is an old program. So it's really about, it's going back in and just like cleansing your slate and kind of starting over. And then, you know, you learn more about yourself and you're like, holy, like gifts will be unlocked once you start seeing these gates, these channels within you. So yeah, that's how I live.
Sweet. I do see that. I do see that. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we're talking a lot about projectors. I'm sorry, everybody. It's just because we both are. And then like my husband, your brother is. So it's like, yeah. But there's two types of projectors. There's the energetic and the mental, correct?
Yeah, I actually think there's 3, Bethany. Let me
Okay.
grab my human design book.
And I guess like what I was going to say to it was like, it's really cool to watch. Like I know Jonah is the mental projector and I think I am the energetic, whatever we are, we're both 2 different type of projectors. So it's fun to watch him like hit the wall and need to like be done with the day.
Yeah, there's 3. I think Jonah's a classic projector, to be honest.
Okay, possibly.
Yeah, because I'm a mental projector and I don't remember him ever. If you could look that up for me, because Yeah. So do you want me to can I interrupt you real quick? Yeah. So there's mental projectors, energy projectors, and classic projectors. And the mental ones, so like the mental ones, I'm a mental one. I don't really go to people for advice because I'm actually not meant to. Like I'm meant to talk out loud the things that I have going on in my brain that are leading me somewhere. Like I'm meant, it's like so it's called a soundboarding. So I'm meant to hear my own thoughts. So I just kind of say, hey, Bethany, can you hold space for me just while I talk some things out? And so like I hear myself talking and maybe I have a couple of different things that I'm trying to work out. And then boom, on that third one, I'm like, oh, that's the thing I'm supposed to do. So I don't think Jonah has that one. I don't remember him.
No, I just thought there were 2 types of projectors.
No, there's 3.
Probably a classic. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a classic.
I just know that like also the energy centers, like the energetic or the energy projector has like open energy centers at the top.
Yeah. No, bottom.
Okay. I was gonna flip it.
So the thing with like mental projectors, we have all 3. So I have all 3 defined.
Yeah, you're right.
And then everything is open. And guys, when we get into the like open centers and define, like this all sounds like mumbo jumbo to you, and it's okay. We're gonna go for a ride. Yeah. Because but like these open centers, and this is where it comes into like the conditioning situations we've had in our lifetime. We have like consistent energy, and then we have energy that is based off of like we're influenced by our environment. So I have to be really careful because all my lower is all open. So you have to be like, oh, is this energy mine? Or is this someone else's? So that's when it really can get deep. But what were you saying earlier?
I was going to say like just you know, with these energy centers, you know, because my bottom is all filled in. And then I think the classic is also like a combination of the top. And then I don't know how much on the bottom.
It is. So it says, it just said that the motor center is connected. So I just want to double check on where I just want to go back to that.
And you know, just like a little side note, when your energy centers are filled in on the chart, it means that you produce energy from that space. You hold energy in that space. When they're open, there's like it can influence. Yeah. There's nothing filling that energetic center. So, like, I have the bottom half, or some bottom centers. I don't know if I have the sacral, but I have the bottom centers filled in,
except the sacral. For it says for the
yeah. I knew it because that would be like more of a generator, but anywho, those lower energy centers give me more energy throughout the day, just period. Like I can go longer. I don't take in as much from other people, and that doesn't tire me out as much. Like,
like you said, Jonah hits you see Jonah hit a roadblock.
Yeah. So it's just fun. It's fun to watch. It's just, now that I learned that, I respect it. So it's cool to like learn these things. And then instead of being like, God, he's always tired at the end of the day, like, can you keep going? It's like, instead of having that attitude towards him, I'm like, oh, yay, we're going to tuck you in on the couch and let you have your
He's gonna do
quiet
his
time.
thing.
It's a respect. It's like and when you learn these things about other people in your life, or you just learn, and you like, once you learn it, you're probably going to want to do like different people that you interact with all the time just to learn.
Totally.
Then you respect them differently. You're like, okay, yeah, cool. That's how you're supposed to show up. All right, I'm gonna let that be and not be frustrated or try to change it, or, so that's why I think it's just such a beautiful, like, I just love it on the energy level of life. It's just being like, man, that's how that person's supposed to show up and shine. And like, let's let them be that way. And like, going back to the kids, I find a common correlation is like a ADD, ADHD diagnosis with like a manifesting generator. I think a lot of them can be,
because they're jumping from project to project.
Yeah, they're just they're busy minds. They have a lot of energy. They don't stop. They just like, and instead of like, it'd be so beautiful if we could just learn that about all these humans that we label ADD,
and then not putting prescriptions on things so quickly,
and just allow them to be that way. But like, the world doesn't want you to do that. The world doesn't want you to jump from this thing. It wants you to be on the one path,
9 to 5 hustle,
and nailed down at school, and you're going to stick to this schedule. And it's like, man, like, it would just be such a different place if we all did just kind of like, just learn the basics, which is what we're going to cover here. We're just going to cover the profile types, the combinations of the numbers, and then the types of, and if you just learn that alone from this series, you will interact with the people that you know
differently.
Like, you will see the world differently and those people around you. So
couple of things I want to say. So it's like, for me, I love looking at people and being like, oh yeah, they're a projector. Oh yeah, they're a manifestor. Like, I'm really good at figuring out what type they are, and then I like doing like the profile. I'm like, oh yeah, they're a 2. You can just see it. And so like, sometimes for like the older generation, it's hard for them to have their birth time, because that was just not a thing that that was just not a thing for them back then. Their parents didn't care about that shit. And so for the older generation, like my energy healer's like, damn, I actually don't know my time, so I actually don't know what one I am. And same with my parents, like, we don't have and you need to be precise, because it can change pretty quickly. But definitely, like, dad's a projector. I can totally get that. And like, mom does have hers, and she's a generator for sure. But what I was going to say, like, the other night we were all hanging out, and I always witness that too. When me, you, Jonah are hanging out, Jonah would be the first one to crash, and like, totally honor that. And then it would be me, and then it would be you. Like, you always have way more energy than us, because you have like that energy center that it's more like a generator. But the other night, it was like 9 o'clock, and we had been hanging. I was just hanging with my family this past weekend, and we were out from morning till, we were doing things all day. So I just like, do my thing, start to tune out. And mom's like, you're tired. I'm like, yeah, I'm tired. And you're like, Jonah's like, you good? Jonah's like, you good? I'm like, yeah, I'm just chilling. Like, I don't need to talk all the time. And anyways, so then I go to bed, and I literally, after they left, like, I went right to bed, and I put on a TV show, but I thought that I watched much more of the TV show. When I went to go watch it again, like the next day, I was like, oh my God, I only got 13 minutes in. I thought I was like, it's so funny, because when Anthony went upstairs to bed, I woke up, and my head, I literally felt, I was really tired. My eyes were so heavy, and my head, I literally was like laying on my belly with my head like weirdly positioned on my pillow, like, and I fell asleep, like, literally just like eyes shoved into my pillow on my belly. And then I woke up, and I was like, oh wow, I was tired. It was like tired. But like, the projector in me, like, it's funny, because mom now understands that I rest. I do rest. It's really important for me. And she always used to be like, come on. And I'm like, nah, dude, like, I am giving myself time to recharge, because we don't have an endless supply of energy. Like, we need to fuel ourselves back up, give ourselves that rest, so that we can go off and do those things. But yeah, that was just my observation the other night. And, when family's around, you sometimes push it, but I honor sleep so much. It's so important. But yeah, this was just a little introduction to human design.
How we
Hope
use
you
it in our
enjoyed.
lives and how we
Yeah.
interact with it. And we are by no means like experts, but it's something that we love
No.
and we're interested in. So,
Yep.
we're just going to take the next few episodes to really, unpack each type in the profiles and just tell you what we know about it. And then encourage you to go get a reading or go to at least My Body Graph and get your chart and get your type and your profile so that when you listen to the series, you will start to put the pieces together and maybe things will settle in for you.
And also, there's really good human design readers on YouTube as well. So, like, let's just say you do figure out your profile type and you're like, really want to deep dive. There's so much knowledge on YouTube that these like readers are just like sharing it for free. And it is, like you said, it's really fun to like get to know your people in your immediate world because you do get a new sense of understanding of who they are.
Yeah, totally.
Sweet.
All right. We'll see you guys soon. And can't wait for this chit chat to continue to unfold. And if you guys feel called to, please share and like and subscribe to the channel because it helps us to continue to keep going and make these videos and get the word out to people. And we deeply appreciate it. So, yeah, until next time, you got anything you want to add?
No, I'm good.
Hard? Oh.
Yep. I'm going through my book and I have these cool fucking,
sweet.
I gotta frame these. This is Secret Soul, the girl that does my mushroom sweater.
Yeah.
This is her artwork. She put these in. Yeah. And I just found my recipe that Nan gave me of her banana muffins. And I always like to frame those things, but it's I got her to write it out for me. Here it is. Look at this. I always love Nan's handwriting, but she put it on a really pretty sheet.
Oh, sweet. So you could actually frame it.
Frame it, yeah, for sure. Cool.
Oh, nice.
Sweet.
Awesome.
All right, guys. Little tangent for you. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time.
See you later.